Thousands of Bahamians following the Holy Week tradition by attending church services this Easter Sunday. Good evening, everyone. I'm LaDawn Davis. Thanks so much for tuning in. Topping the news tonight. Today is being celebrated as Easter or Resurrection Sunday, when Jesus Christ rose from the dead following his crucifixion on Good Friday. Easter Sunday is a culmination of Holy Week and marks the end of the 40 days of Lent. Easter Sunday also marks the first day of Eastertide, which lasts 7 weeks and ends on Pentecost Sunday. Altov's Mornings reports on the early morning Easter Vigil at St. Barnabas Anglican Church.
The light of Christ, thanks be to God.
The Easter Sunday Vigil is traditionally held in the hours of darkness between sunset on Holy Saturday and sunrise on Easter Sunday, and is known as the first celebration of Easter. Worshippers at St. Barnabas Anglican Church on Blue Hill and Wolf Roads held candles while the Easter fire ignited and the Paschal candle is lit.
The woman said to the serpent, "We may eat of the fruit of the trees in the garden, but God said, you shall not eat of the fruit of the tree that is in the middle of the garden."
The Liturgy of the Word consists of a series of Old Testament scriptures that are read in darkness, starting from the book of Genesis, and includes the Israelites' crossing of the Red Sea. After the scriptures, the Paschal candle is placed on the altar, and then lights illuminate the church. Citing the word of St. Paul in Romans chapter 6, rector of St. Barnabas Anglican Church, Canon Basil Tynes, preached on where we ought to be in life as resurrection people.
The grace of the crucified and risen Christ calls every Christian to live in the newness of life, not in the deadness of the past. They must consider themselves as being dead to sin in God's sight when they are incorporated into Christ through the waters of baptism. Therefore, through the waters of our baptism in Christ, all of us are called to live every minute of our lives, dying to the sway of sin and living focused on our fellowship with God in Christ Jesus.
Canon Tynes told the Easter Sunday congregation that all baptized Christians should be living, vibrant slaves and servants to Jesus Christ in all the righteousness he supplies, and not as slaves of unrighteousness.
The Christian life is to be a life with the risen Christ. But just as Christ died to sin once for all and now he lives orientated towards God, so Christians must consider themselves as being dead to sin and having a life orientated towards God in Christ Jesus. In other words, in Christ, they must be dead to sin and alive to God.
Altov's Mornings, ZNS Network News.
The message in most churches today centered on the resurrection and what it means in our daily lives, as well as providing hope in many circumstances. Pastor of Zion Baptist Church on Shirley Street, Reverend T.G. Morrison, reminded the Easter Sunday congregation that the God we serve has truly only risen. He also touched on the upcoming May 10th general elections, noting that whatever the outcome, God is still in charge.
He is not dead, he is alive, for I heard him speak to John, I am he that liveth, behold I was dead, and now I am alive forevermore, and I have the keys. We serve a God who is alive, and he got all power in his hand. They dissolved the House of Assembly, and there are no more MPs. They dissolved the House, and there is no real government. Oh, but I serve a Jesus who does not need to be re-elected. He is alive. He is a God. He is King of Kings.